Hi, I'm Rachael Whitefield, certified life coach, and with me is Jaki Black, our resident FNG, the freaking new girl. And thank you for joining us on Whiskey Bent and
Spellbound with
Black and
Whitefield.
Whitefield. We're gonna get that,
We're gonna get
Jaki.
that. I feel like we're gonna get it by episode 7.
We've got all the time in the
Put
world.
any pressure on ourselves. If we get it before then, cheers. What are we drinking, Rachel?
Today, we paid the whiskey budget late this month, and we are once again drinking, probably until we reach the end of it, Boxer Grail Kentucky Straight Rye whiskey from Rabbit Hole Distillers, which is a female-owned company, and we are so proud of them and happy to showcase them on our podcast.
Cheers to the ladies. What's your ice mold today?
Ice molds of the day are roses for our visual watchers of the podcast. We have ice molds of roses today, which also roses are my favorite flower. So it is a props. So
you're so classic. Listen, I love how you measure it out. I just go with my heart, pour from the bottle.
Right.
I love it. There.
The day will tell me how much is enough in my
much. Yeah, no.
I know.
Spirit actually pushes the liquor out of the bottle for me.
As someone who is not really into measuring or preciseness, it surprises me that I also am like, here's exactly 1.5 ounces of whiskey in my cup.
You're like very strict with yourself, just specifically for the podcast.
We pick our battles. I know. I have to have a clear head. Clear head on my shoulders for most of the podcast. So, Jaki, today we're talking about how we know each other, how we became podcast.
It's a classic, and I am prepared. We're going to go all the way freaking back to when, Rachel?
1998. However, I believe it started in 1997 because for our audio listeners, Jaki has pulled out our yearbooks, all 4 of them. Because, dare we say, we're from the same hometown and we met our freshman year of high school.
We sure did. 13 years old, which makes us friends for how many years in some form or fashion?
Math.
I don't.
I say 25. I don't know.
25.
Actually,
25 years later. Oh, you have a cell phone. You should definitely count. We could ask Siri. While you're asking Siri,
27 years.
Really need to show you this because this is my favorite thing. Now, we're from a small town, which means our high school is microscopic.
Tiny. Yes. So
small. You said something earlier about how we picked our sports teams.
Okay, so let's take it back to the beginning. We met each other in 1997 in our hometown, you guys, Imperial, California, not Imperial Beach. Imperial, California, and of Imperial County. And I always say, where people don't know where this is, it's where Arizona, California, and Mexico touch. And the scene I paint for everyone, especially of our generation, is, you remember that scene in Independence Day, the original? Will Smith, Randy Quaid. So the scene is Randy Quaid is drunk in a crop duster. And he's crop dusting the wrong field. And in the bottom, digital writing, it comes up Imperial Valley, California. And it's real true. However, I think it misrepresented us because it made us look like we all lived in RVs. And that's not true because I am from a double wide trailer.
That's right.
You couldn't move it. It wasn't quite pit set, and there were feral cats. There was feral cats living underneath it, so not far off. They did a fair representation of the Imperial Valley.
It wasn't too bad. I personally lived in base housing on NAFL Centro because being a freaking new girl, I was also a Navy brat, which is how I got there.
Which Jacqueline, my dad, worked at the NAFL Centro, so we were just so close to meeting so many times. Because
we could have met at 12 and not 13.
The
town was tiny.
I think back in the late 90s, early 2000s, I think there was about 6,000 people. And in El Centro, I think there was about 30,000, which is the town that had everything.
That was the adjacent town. That's
the
where
adjacent
we went
town.
To buy school clothes. That's where
yes.
we went shopping.
Yeah. Now it's really up and coming. They have an In-N-Out burger. They have a Target.
That's crazy. I
They've got
remember.
some stuff.
Please tell me you remember when the Target got there in 2001
I
and how
wasn't there. I
celebratory
moved out like
you had gone.
right
So I
after high school
had
ended.
come back to visit
I
right
am
around the
I am
time.
surprised at all the metropolitanness that has happened in the town.
And now there's a mall, which
There is a mall
if
now.
there was a mall when we were kids, we would not have been partying in the desert. Okay.
No, however, I will say because it's a small town, everyone dressed the same. And one of our mutual friends and I kept wearing the same dress to every dance. It became a joke, but I was like, obviously we have the same style and it's great, but it's like we just kept showing up to every dance in the same dress. I was like,
that's my favorite story.
yes. Yeah, it was great. It was great. I loved it. It's so funny.
3
But
or
yeah,
4.
we all look the same, we all dress the same, we all act the same. It's all same.
But it was 1998.
Yeah.
So we were very cool, according to the children walking around these days in our outfits.
And our outfits, yes. We trailblazed it first. So let's set the scene. I think there was 120-ish kids in our graduating class, and I think about less than 700 in our high school.
Total. Our high school was mostly trailers or bungalows. If they didn't even build, they had so little funding, they didn't even build new buildings when they needed new classrooms. They just rolled in
more
bungalows.
trailers onto the field.
Yeah.
They didn't invest in us. And
no.
I was so close to getting out of high school, never have been in the FFA. I was just a couple credits shy of, and so they got me at the end. I had to join the FFA.
No.
The Future Farmers of America. I was in parliamentary procedures. I believe in the future of agriculture. Like, I didn't have an animal, but I did, but they got me.
So let's clarify exactly what FFA is for the listeners, because here's the thing. I have learned over the years, when I say FFA, some people who go to larger high schools have no freaking clue what we're talking about.
No clue. No
idea. So these kids wore, if I can remember right, corduroy jackets.
Navy blue. Yes.
Navy blue with giant patches on them. They looked like a biker gang, but walked around some sheeps and some pigs, which they ultimately sold
at the local county fair.
Yeah. And the showing, like they had to show them. And when they walked by, they had to do this weird.
Oh, did they?
So that I describe it, it's like an overexpressed clown smile with your arms out to the side as your animal walks by a judge. It is jarring to see if you don't know what's going on.
And Jackie, when did you move to the Valley?
1996.
Okay, so you did not grow up there.
No, I grew up in the larger cities, San Diego, Oakland, Los Angeles, and then I moved. That's why we call me the freaking new girl. I moved into the Imperial Valley. I went to Sealy, which is an even smaller town than Imperial, you guys. And there was only maybe 40 kids in my 8th grade class.
And I want to say that Jackie moved there. And so when she is new to the high school, everyone's like, tell us about the outside world. About me, when my parents took me home from the hospital 18 years later, I then moved out of that house,
which is crazy.
I realized how rare that is. I came up with the same kids from kindergarten to 12th grade.
And they all knew each other, and
they all knew each other.
Weird. I felt like an alien because everybody was like, you're new. Tell me everything about you. What's the outside world like? Have you gone to school in San Diego? What's that like? What's the beach?
We're tight knit without meaning to be.
Without it. Like you guys grew up so close. Even if you guys were in different friends groups as children, little teeny tiny babies, kindergartners, 1st grade. You guys were all together. I can't even imagine what that must be like, because I moved I'm perpetually the freaking new girl. I moved every 2 to 3 years my entire life.
I will say now, I realize how rare that is after the fact because it was just normal. It was just normal. Like
Right.
I had a very, for the most part, incredibly stable upbringing, and I didn't ever move anywhere. And, I had the same group of friends my whole life. And when like the first time I moved, I was 18. I finally moved out into the big city. And later in my life, audience, I did become a Navy wife. And so then I moved a lot.
Yeah.
which is funny, maybe because the military spouse, I don't know if you experienced this in your military spouseness, Jackie, but like after about 18 months of not moving, you get itchy. Like you're just like, I need to at least move apartments. I need to do something. Yeah.
So the walls get old. That's what's happening. Yeah. My entire family is like this. Mm-hmm. All of my siblings are like this. We call ourselves all the time, and this is not a great term, but we're using it as in like we move around all the time. Like we don't ever stay put. We got to go. We say we're gypsies because we're constantly moving somewhere. We can never, my brother bought a house and then lived there for 2 years and then moved into an apartment. Like that's how much we cannot stay in one place. I now live minimally because I know I'm going to move. I can't stay in one place.
This was when my husband and I had bought my ex-husband bought a house, and this was before he had joined the Navy. And even though I had grown up so stable in the same house for 18 years, when we signed our mortgage, I was like, it made me feel itchy. Like I was like, I can't move.
Like a little bit of
even though it shouldn't, like this, like, oh, of course, why would anyone? Like, oh man, it just felt like a prison I had just signed on that.
That is so relatable. That is so relatable.
And that was even before he had joined the Navy. So it's so incredible.
You. Like, what if I want to
change? Like, I can't go anywhere now.
What if I want to change and become you saw the benefit of becoming a new person every single time you moved.
Yeah.
Even if you were still you still become a little bit like what? You tweak yourself a little bit. And that's the energy, you know what I'm saying, that you want in that area.
And what you came rolling into school freshman year is mystery. There is no reinventing myself. Everyone knows me. I can't
change the style, nothing.
So as we get into
I rolled in with dog chains around my neck.
Ooh, girl. And then she became a cheerleader.
Then I did. I went from goth to cheerleader like 2 seconds.
Jackie, as I again don't remember a ton from my childhood, you have the yearbooks. What was I like?
A wallflower. You were a wallflower. Sweet, quiet. You always laughed at my jokes, which I loved. In fact, like, here's the thing. I remember you very vividly in that you were part of the church kids because you were heavily in church. You hung out with like that little clique. We weren't really cliques because of how small the school was, I feel like. But there were definitely
circles.
Like groups. Yeah. Circles who hung out on the weekends regularly. But at school, we all were friends.
Yeah.
Right. Like that was my perception. I was able to talk to everybody, and you were just sweet and quiet. And I literally have no shit to talk. She's extremely nice. I look at you and I was like, she gets straight A's. She never has to worry about nothing. She's a good girl. She goes to church on Sunday. She says her prayers. And Wednesdays. Oh my God, that's a lot of church.
You guys, I am not that person anymore. However, yes. So again, in a future episode, I'm sure we'll go into like childhood trauma, the church deconstruction, all of that, of why I don't remember a lot of my childhood.
Of why, but I do have. This is how I know we've always been friends, because there's a certain thing that you do in your yearbook. Period. I don't care who you are with your friends, girls, is you put stars on your friends. Period. And you said earlier about the way we chose our teams, right? Like everybody was on them. Like if you wanted to be on the sports team, you just had to show up to tryouts or something?
Actually, those are in our pre-notes. So listeners, let me tell you the
Okay.
story. So as we go through our show notes, this is the story. So our school was so small and our town was so small that finally our freshman year, we finally have a swim team. And of course, if you listen to the last episode, where we're from is desperately hot. So there's pools around. We have very strong swimmers because one, there's canals everywhere. My parents were terrified of me drowning. So they teach us how to swim. And so our school finally has the gumption to create a swim team. And this is how we made the swim team. If you went to all 5 days of tryouts, quote unquote, I'm using tryouts. If you went to tryouts every single day, you were on the team. They did not have enough kids to cut. So they didn't. And so when we go against these big schools that have like their JV races and then their varsity races, the school is just swimming their own swimmers. There are not enough people to swim JV and varsity, which in retrospect, as I am a swimmer currently in my life, it's nice to say, oh yeah, I swam varsity high school all 4 years. Like I was so good that I had to be on varsity all 4 years. No. Nay. They didn't have enough. They couldn't afford to cut anyone. So everyone made the team.
Everybody got to do it. But here's how I know we've been friends since then. This is our freshman year yearbook. Here you are.
Right there.
Right there. And if you can see on your arm really closely, right there is a star. Because that's my friend.
And I also want to say that Jackie remembers a lot of me. I don't remember a lot of anything. And so all I know is I had senior year English with you.
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
Yeah. And you probably just remember like very like minute details from that too. We went to lunch together. I took you in my car and everybody was like, where are we going? And you were like, we can go to my house. And I went to your house. You don't even remember me going to your house. I've been to your house, to your double wide.
Yep.
Double wide, right?
Yep. With the AstroTurf green fake grass stairs.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
And your house. And we ate some snacks out of your little kitchen.
Yep.
And I remember our other friend, Kimmy, was like, you took Rachel to lunch. She told me.
Who else was with us?
Sarah.
Yeah.
And I think Heather.
Yeah.
I think it would have been you three. You guys were like stuck at the hip. So
yeah, no, that makes sense.
It was the church girls.
Yeah.
I went to lunch with the church girls.
I know you were the odd man out on that group.
I cursed the whole time.
And look at me, just dropping F-bombs like a motherfucking sailor nowadays. You guys buckle up for the deconstruction episode.
Oh, it's going to be
a big one.
It's going to be juicy cheese may, and I'm going to wear my chunkless for the cheese.
Chunkless for the cheese may. Okay. Okay. So anything else and Jackie's pulling out the yearbooks. I don't even know if I have these anymore.
I have all 4.
Because my ex-husband, who I will refer to as the limey bastard or the limey, he didn't grow up in America. He's from England. So it's like all of this stuff didn't matter to him. So he's just like, this doesn't make sense to me. So I think they might have all gotten tossed. So I also can't even refer to anyone's photo if someone brings up a name to me. I'm like, I have to look them up on Facebook. And now they don't even look like they're 18 anymore. I have no idea.
No, it wouldn't even make sense. Some people don't look the same at all.
Yeah.
I feel like I look older, but I feel like my personality is like the same.
Here's the thing. You will say that I am very different, obviously, than who I am in high school.
Your personality.
I will say that I'm also very different. However, I feel true to myself, that I never lost myself. I might have blossomed into the ultimate version of myself that makes me so happy outside influences. Let's put it that way. I got my own mind about things. And so I feel like I'm the same, even though it might be surprising to you as we have reconnected over the years. But yeah, so after high school, we just went our own ways. I moved to Phoenix with some friends, and I believe you got pregnant and married.
Immediately. Immediately. I did that at 19. Moved away, moved around, got married at 21, divorced at 24, and then married again at 25. I had a child in between there.
Okay.
Divorced at 35. Married again at 38. And divorced again at 40.
Yes.
And here we are I have adult children, and I'm living on my own for the very first time in my entire life. How about you, Rachel?
Yeah, I moved out from Imperial to Phoenix at 18, married at 21. This is going to be a fun episode later. So many Easter eggs coming, you guys. Married someone for a green card. And then, but again, you only have to be married for 2 years for a green card. We were married for 13 in total. So real marriage, just to a foreign man. And then divorced, moved to Colorado, now on my own with my adult money and my adult job and all of that. But through the years, thank God, I can't believe I'm going to say this sentence. Thank God for social media, because because again, I always have known that we've been cool, that we've been friends. And I think we have such an ingrained foundation that even speaking or not speaking for years or a decade at a time, that we're just going to pick right up where we left off, because again, we have that ingrained foundation of childhood.
And you know what, like your upbringing in the Imperial Valley and that whole like environment, I feel like even though I was the FNG, I feel like I was sort of enveloped by that community and kept almost like, no, you're from here too. Because when people ask me where I'm from, I say the Imperial Valley. I say that. I'm like, I'm from Imperial, California. My class is 120 people. I'm still friends with most of them.
Yeah.
Like, thank God for social media, because I am still friends with most of y'all. I know what's going on in everybody's lives.
Yeah.
I think is a blessing.
And that's something that we've, through social media, have always been like tangential friends of like, whatever we share, and I don't share a ton in my life of social media. However, it's always like, I'm going to support you. I've owned businesses where you were like, you might have even left me a review that I did your nails, that I never did your nails. However, you supported me, and
I couldn't go get my nails done. I was all the way across the country, but I was ready and willing to if I was going to be in Washington.
Yeah. And you absolutely
I was ready to go to that cute little salon you had.
Absolutely. Every iteration of it. And also women supporting women in our businesses. Jaki I know it was like, you did etched glasses or glassware. So yeah.
And cups, like wine glasses and beer mugs and like customized.
Yeah. So I bought a couple of glassware items from you to be like, I want to support her business. Yes, I'm happy. And I might even still have the Instagram messages of like, I'm going to give you a discount because you're my friend. And I want to say I still write like that on people's messages, like MUH, you're my friend. No D on the end, my friend. And yeah, so we just always really supported each other. And even as we are obviously still in contact with people from back home, these deep ingrained friendships, I think a mutual friend of ours, we're going to use in quotes, told me about another endeavor you were doing, that
business venture
you were doing.
This person was trying to give you a little chisme, a little goss.
For those who are not familiar with our friend-elect of the language that we use, we do drop some Spanglish in every once in a while. Chisme is gossip, and Chismosa is a gossip queen. But I like to use it better than just be like, can I just drop some gossip on you? So yes, this person was, I think,
nicer, quite frankly.
What's that?
It sounds nicer than
It
saying gossip, like a little
really
cheese.
does. Can we get
Gives
a
a
little
little
cheese,
positive spin. That's what Spanish does. And
Mhm.
because, again, the Imperial Valley is 5 minutes from the border, like we speak Spanglish. Spanglish is sort of a language we could probably go pick it up as we were in California.
And the only foreign language they taught at the school was Spanish. That was it. So
and white people, quite frankly, were the minority at our school.
Yeah.
Everybody spoke Spanish.
Everyone spoke Spanish. And I know I've lost so much of it. However, yes. So someone was trying to drop some chisme about you in a way that maybe it wasn't so positive.
They were like, have you heard what Jaki?
Have you heard what Jaki is up to? Which was
was anybody surprised?
No.
No, it's fine. But what was it, Rachel? What was I doing? Go ahead.
Miss Jacqueline had an OnlyFans.
Yeah,
And an OnlyFans. And this is really supporting. Well, first of all, I was like, if a girl can get it, I'm good. Yes. I was like, well done, her. Yes. And I will support my lady friends in any way that I can. I did not, but it was really on my heart of hearts, but we weren't really, not to say we weren't speaking. It was just, we were just social media friends at that point. But I didn't want this in my cookies on my computer, but I was like, how can I join her OnlyFans in like the lowest tier to support her and her business? But then I was like, I'm going to look so weird if I subscribe to your OnlyFans.
You know what? I think the solution would have been just messaging me and been like, I want to just be a subscriber because I
don't want to see any content.
Please don't show me your butthole, Jaki.
Again,
but
don't
like,
see it. But I want to.
At that point, I would have given it to you for free, sister. I would have just sent you the link. I would have been like, here, and then share it. And then if somebody tells you I'm doing it, be like, I know I'm subscribing.
Yeah. You know? So, and all your business
up again, you know what to do.
Yeah. I'd be like, I don't want to see the content, but I definitely.
I won't show you my butthole, I promise.
But I definitely, I mean, it's a different kind of business partner, Jaki.
Like, you know what? I just want to touch on that for a minute. When girls talk about other girls doing OnlyFans, like, don't make that thing seem like a negative thing. This is us turning the patriarchy on its head.
If they're going to objectify us anyways, you might as well just get paid for it.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's
what I was thinking. First of all, this Rachel, how she feels like sex work is work. Sex work.
That's right. Like, it is work. I did it for 6 months. I'm telling you right now, that shit is work.
And so I'm never
it's physically draining.
And I'm never going to shame a woman for doing whatever she wants to do, whatever she has to do. Like, if that is a skill that pays you well, go and get it, because the word slut does not exist in my vocabulary. I do not talk to women like a negative in that way. Like, I want them to get whatever works for them. Yes. So I was just like, yes, Jaki, go get it. Whoever's telling us she's mostly that you have an OnlyFans, I was just like, that's great information.
Love that for her.
Yes.
That's how I feel when somebody tells me they have an OnlyFans. I'm like, hell yes, sis, get it.
Go get it.
Get your money. Because you know what? Like, it's work, but like, it ain't hard work. You know what I'm saying? It's like mentally taxing. It can be exhausting after a while, but like, it's not hard work. You're definitely getting natural endorphins most of the time. And genuinely, I had people on there who just paid me to exist. So that was nice.
Yes. No shame in the game. I love it. So that is the foundation of Jaki and Rachel. Yes, of our friendship. And then, Jaki, you had a renaissance of sorts after your third marriage, that you were just like, F this S, no one's going to tell me how to be. So you were just posting the most fire pictures on Instagram finally. And I was like, me coming out of my divorce, I was like, I see this. I see her emancipation. So I just kept liking everything. And then again, because we weren't as good of friends as we are now, because it had been years in between our connections. I was like,
but we've seen each other go through things because of social media.
Yes. And I was just like liking everything. And I just wanted to support you and help the algorithm for you. But I was like, finally, I just reached out to her, to you, Jackie, to say, like, I'm not being weird. I just really want to support you. I think like what you're doing is great. And it's just women supporting women. And I am here for it, And then I was like, I think we're on the same trajectory after a divorce or a bad relationship. And then it was just like, chat. I was like, we
know we were
need to get on the phone. Can we FaceTime? Absolutely. And finally,
and I love that you're like so calendar based. You're like, let's put a date in the calendar. Let's have a FaceTime.
I'm about me is that I'm a very literal person. Like if a way to quickly break my heart is to like, oh, we should get coffee sometime and then not mean it.
Yeah.
Cause me, I'm like, yes, I'm a queen of the follow through. Yeah, let's do that. Like, let's put on the calendar like right now, So it's just like, I didn't want to be that friend that's like, oh, we should FaceTime. And then we never do. And then no one believes me when I say I want to do something. Like what I say I will do. And no one should ask me to go off coffee if no one actually wants to have coffee with me. Yes. Or anything in that vein of things. Yeah.
I'm ready to go. You want to have coffee? Let's have coffee.
Yeah. So I was just like, you want to FaceTime? Yeah, absolutely. I was like, I'm free at 4. Excellent. Let's do it. And then
we talked for 3 hours, 4 hours.
And then I said,
caught up on all the chisme.
We should have a podcast.
Just randomly.
And your eyes just
lit up. When you said that, I immediately was like, we should have a podcast.
Who wouldn't want to listen to us?
And you were literally so surprised. You were like, why would we do that? Like,
I know, I'm talking myself out of it later. I was like,
yeah, exactly. But I'm glad we followed through because here we are. We literally talk all day, every day. I don't know how you're not annoyed with me all the time.
I actually, when it goes a couple of days without us checking in with each other, I'm always like, this is weird.
Where's my friend?
Are you okay? Are you okay? Yes. And then because I didn't have a creative outlet, I just have my corporate job that I now do. I don't want to be like I was emotionally floundering, but I was like, is this all there is? Because I've worked for myself for so long that it's weird to get a paycheck from someone else you
were just like feeling like I have creativity in me. It needs to get out. And I'm such a big cheerleader for people that when they see, right? I'm such like do it. Yeah. Because I'm ready to just do shit for the plot. Like, let's see what happens.
You wouldn't let me back out of it.
I wouldn't.
However, I had trouble sleeping that night, like the next 2 nights, because I was just being like, I wrote down, I think, 50 ideas for podcast episodes.
You did.
5 business names. And then I was like, hey, just if you want to look at that, we can. But if you don't want to do it, it's okay. But I'm just saying, if we did, would you want to name it this?
Yes.
I was not standing in my power, but I was putting all of my energy into it.
Dude, see, this little wallflower who was a big, what did you say? You said something. Big fish.
Oh, I said, yeah, I will say, going back to the hometown, that I always say that it's a great place to be from. It's very Friday Night Lights. It's a great place to have that core beliefs inside of you of who you are. Say what you mean what you say, kind of thing.
Yes.
Show up when you're going to say you're going to show up. Obviously, that's really ingrained in me. However, I always say it's a great place to be from. I always felt like I was a big fish in a small pond. And I always knew I was going to leave.
Yeah.
There was no question about that. My mom, thank God she had this conversation with me. She sat me down and my senior year of high school. And she said, I don't care what you do. And I don't care where you go, but you cannot stay here. And again, I already knew in my heart of hearts that I wanted more than that little town.
Yeah.
And just for me personally, who I am. And I think she was kind of hesitant of like, she wasn't kicking me out, you know, but she wanted more from my life than that little town could give me. And so I was like, I think she was a little afraid because of like cutting the cord, or I wasn't ready to leave the nest yet. And I just looked at her dead in her face. I was like, thank you for having this conversation with me before I have this conversation with you. I'm out.
I didn't want to hurt things.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause she knew not this like kind of tough love, but I was like, we're on the same page, Mom. We're good. I'm going to leave, you know?
Yeah.
So,
but like that little fish in a big pond thing, like I saw sort of like flash before your eyes, like, can I do this?
mm-hmm.
And then you went into like full creative mode and you were like, okay, like if you're serious, here's all of my ideas. And I was like, we got to start an LLC. Let's do this.
Let's get
like,
a bank account.
Stopping this. We threw a fucking bucket of coal into a freight train and lit that bitch on fire.
I will say one of the greatest compliments of my life, Casey gave this to me. Someone we were from home with.
From homie.
From home with, yeah. From homie. Yeah, she's a homie. And so we still get together in our adult lives.
That's true. You guys went to your 40th birthday.
Yeah, we just had our 40th
which
birthday.
I just barely missed.
Yeah.
The addition of me would have been wild.
Yeah, we did go to bed at a reasonable hour. If you were with us, we would not have. So okay, we still get together every couple of years too. So we're still active friends. And it's so crazy when someone gives you such a great compliment that you don't realize they don't realize what it means to you when they say it. Yeah. But she said to me, Rachel, if we want something done, we know to take it to you because you will get it done. And that's not that, but it's like, if you have a business idea, whatever it is, like I say that I am like a dog on a bone and I will not stop. I am absolutely tenacious and I will not stop until you tell me to stop. So it's more of it felt, that compliment felt so wonderful to be like, my hard work is seen and they trust me if they want to come to me with an idea. I'm not going to laugh in their face, be like, I'm not going to talk you out of it. I can talk me out of it. I can't talk you out of it.
Yeah.
And Jackie was just hyping us all up.
That's why I was so excited because I had already seen you create a business. And I was like, that means we're going to be business partners. That's a person you want to get into business with because you are a dog on a bone, because you don't give up. You don't stop. You're like, there's a problem.
I'll find a way.
Yes. You just take off. And you're like, let's do it. And so like, it was just so inspiring that it was just easy for me to be like, let's go and just be the cheerleader that I am naturally. That's a great idea. Let's do that. You were like, here's 1,000 more great ideas. Let's do this. And I've just been inspired ever freaking since.
And I think it's just the magic of meeting someone where you are at, because we've had just the most opposite life paths. And now we're at the same point at the same time. Now we can sit at the same table once again, you know?
Yes.
And I will say,
first of all, that is such a nice thought, because at one point we were sitting at the same table in the same moment in our lives. And then we did diverge and come right back and be like, cheers. What are you drinking?
Yeah. I knew I loved you this whole time.
This whole time.
Yeah. When I was 14, you put a star on my,
let me tell you what I've been through.
I know. You already put a star on my yearbook photo when I was 14.
I did.
Etched in ink for all of time.
That's literally like a thing. The star, when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's a big thing.
That star is exactly where I have my tattoo.
No way. Show me. That's exactly where I have the star.
It's on my left arm. My left forearm.
That's crazy.
I love but it's not a star tattoo.
Yeah. I love how life works out. I always believe that there are multiple soulmates in people's lives, and they're just a group of souls that you go through sort of your lives with. That's just my thing. Like, I think we live multiple lives. I think we learn different lessons every single time, and I think we sort of come back with the same kind of people. And I feel like maybe not family, but maybe besties in another life. Like maybe like cousins. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like separate lives, but we keep like banging into each other every single life.
Yeah.
And
I
didn't mean to say banging into each other, but you know what?
Platonically.
Yeah, platonically banging.
But I will say, as much as a planner that I am, like, I haven't planned a lot of my life, and I would like just it's just so wonderful and magical. I keep using that word, but it absolutely is, to be like, I'm a very creative person. I don't have a big enough imagination to be able to make this happen.
Yeah.
To put out a life path to be like, oh yeah, it's going to be. And and it is unknown, and it is exciting to be like, where will we go with this?
Yeah.
And the fact that you get to be in business with one of the people that I don't know a lot of people for as long as I've known you. And it's like, I get to have you in my life forever.
Yeah. Like, now we're like financially connected.
I know. Yeah.
Not just like emotionally and spiritually. Now do you want to marry me? You can use that yellow canary cocktail.
Yeah, cocktail ring
First of all, cocktail ring of the day.
Cocktail ring of the day.
Rachel has a cocktail
I'll put the
ring
link in the show notes.
I know.
You guys, it would make Elizabeth Taylor blush.
It's good. Use that as your engagement ring. You're welcome.
NBC, it's fine. You're welcome. Yes. Rachel does love a good cocktail ring.
I know. It's one of my top 3 favorite things about you. The cocktail ring.
Cocktail rings, of course.
The cocktail ring leans into the attention to detail. That's actually one of my favorites.
I like it.
Yes. Right.
So are you ready to do the tarot card pull of the day?
Yeah, we're going to do a 3-card reading. I love this. Okay, let's talk about this for a second, because I believe in ghost winks, and you had one recently.
I did have a ghost wink recently.
From your puppies. You can go ahead and tell the story, and then I'll tell my ghost wink story, and then really quickly, as quickly as you can.
Ghost winks are, for the audience member that don't know, it's as if you kind of have those familiar things that from a person who has passed. Like 11:11, or this is the time that I just noticed on the clock, or, oh, hey, there's something that shows up. So a recent ghost wink in my life, and someone who doesn't really believe in ghosts, was I had 3 pugs, and I had them until they were 14. I think Maggie finally, I went to college, as I say, when she was 16 and a half. So I had them from 8 weeks old to into their teenage years, when they finally went to college. And when I was moving into this place, on the back of one of my art pictures, which I don't even know, is hanging on the wall for the last 5 years. So this must have been when we were moving. And there were little dusty paw prints on the back of this picture that I had no idea was there. And this was also the first time I've ever moved without the pugs in my whole, since I was 22 years old. So I've never moved without the pugs. It was really kind of hard to be like, this is my first place without a dog. But I was thinking about getting one. And so I don't know which of the 3 pugs they are, or if they are all 3 pugs or just one pug, but they have their little dusty paw prints on the back of this picture, which I am going to I am going to preserve in some way. But it just, I really broke down and cried about it, because it was like, the pugs are here. My dogs are here. This is my first place without them. And they're still here saying, it's okay, Mom, we're with you. And so I was just like, okay, I think I'm ready for another puppy in a couple months, So it was just like, we're here, Mom, with you. You're doing the right thing. And it's just, it was just such a sweet thing to know that, like, I wasn't alone.
It makes me
into a place to be alone.
It literally every time I hear that story, like, I get a little teary-eyed. So this morning, Show 2, I was sort of like in my mind, in my head about things that are happening.
Yeah.
Just in my life and like around me. And one of the things I always do because I believe in spirit guides. I talk to my spirit guides all day, every day. And one of them I know for sure is my grandmother. She died when I was 4. So I know that spirit is with me because I actually have a story of my mom walking into me talking into the darkness, basically. And she goes, "Who are you talking to?" And I was like, "Grandma," very nonchalant, 4 years old. She had died like 2 months earlier. So one of the things we always ask for, like as children, in my family, is for grandma to come and just let us know that she's with us. And I had just been like thinking in my mind, like about stuff I've been going through lately. I walk into my bathroom. We ask her to show up as a ladybug. Rewind. Let me just talk about this story. I know she shows up as a ladybug because I've asked her multiple times to show up as a ladybug. One time I said, I need to know if I have the right people in my life. And she literally showed up as a ladybug as a tattoo on somebody's neck that I had just met. And to this day, me and her are best friends. So I walk into my bathroom and there was literally a ladybug this morning on my bottle of lotion in my house. Like, why would there even be a ladybug in my house? The ladybug is gone now. I have no idea where it went. No clue. But I have lots and lots of video of this ladybug. All right. I love a ghost wink.
I know.
So
it's a new
I
thing
feel
for
good
me,
about it.
and I am accepting of them.
Yeah.
New to the ghost winks.
I love it.
Yes.
That's my favorite thing in the world, to just have like a little glimpse that, it's good. It's a good feeling because we genuinely don't know what happens after death.
No. And it makes me feel like it's going to be okay.
Yes. That's how I felt when I saw the lady. I was like, I literally looked at the ladybug and was like, "Oh, what are you doing inside my house?" And I start crying and I Marco Polo you.
Yep.
Crying. So I pulled the 3 cards. We can either read it as past, present, future, or situation, solution, outcome.
You are in charge of the tarot cards. You are educating me. I do not know anything about it.
I love this. So I'm going to do a little I think past, present, future is where these cards are lying, but I think the listeners can just, you know what I'm saying, like interpret. Because I'm pulling like just a general reading. It might be for just you. It might be just for me. It might be just for one person out there in the world listening right now. But the first card is the Judgment card. Judgment. So let me just tell you, one note sends them forth to change the world forever. So this is about awakening to follow your destiny.
Awakening to follow your destiny.
Yeah.
I'm going to let that sink in for a second for me.
Like,
this is literally what we just talked about. As our reconnection.
I'm saying, how cool is that?
You wouldn't let me put it back to bed.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't.
I wouldn't. You had so many good revelations. All right, let's do the next one. The next one is the Fool. Was it upside down? My bad. I picked it up. Sorry.
No.
Next one is the Fool. The Fool is just literally just stepping into the unknown. You see how he's got he's like got his suitcase ready to go. It's not a suitcase.
He's got his hobo pack.
Yeah, his hobo bag. But he's just going out. He's stepping out into the unknown. Right? So that first one is about awakening to your destiny. and then stepping out right into the unknown, which I love that follows, because it's so like, it's such a strong message. Just do it. Just step out. If you're afraid of doing things, like, this is such a good message. If you're afraid of what your dreams or goals are, don't be. But maybe, okay, if you're afraid of what your dreams and goals are, step into them in fear, but be excited. Know that fear actually is the same exact energy as excitement.
Mm-hmm.
And go for it. Step out into the unknown. Jump into it. And then the final one is the stars. And the stars are just lighting up the sky, because it's going to bring you all of the hope and light into your life. So go ahead and follow that dream, follow that fear into the unknown, and you are going to step out into the light and understand that you can do exactly what you are afraid of doing. So stop letting whatever it is you're afraid of stop you. Cheers.
Cheers.
That powerful as fuck.
Yes. And I will say, as Rachel does love Latin sayings, this is actually really great. It's ad aspera ad astra, is through struggles, the stars.
I got chills.
They're multiplying.
They're multiplying. Yes. Oh my God. That was such a good reading. I
have goosebumps.
I'm saying spirit talks through me and to me.
That's why we're here, Jackie.
We are blessed. We are women. We are powerful. And every single time we take a step towards our dreams, we let the universe know exactly what we want, and she just gives it to us.
Yes, we are here for it.
Even if we're afraid, don't be afraid.
Don't be afraid.
Know that energy is excitement.
Yes. On that note, we will wrap up the second episode of Whiskey Bent and Spellbound with Rachael Whitefield
and Jaki Black.
Yes. Thank you for joining us. And we will see you next time on Whiskey Bent and Spellbound. Love you. Bye.